We're
back again with another YouTube video with your boy, with your finest, with your.
You are fine.
Well, thank you. I wasn't trying to say it like that, but you know what I'm saying. I take a compliment. What's good, y'all? Everybody good in the hood? We back again with another video.
Thank y'all for tuning in to yet another video. It's been a minute. However, we're back with a very... How would you describe this topic? It's not a topic that's talked about enough.
Yeah, that part.
Especially pre-marriage or, during the dating phases of relationships. So we're going to get started with a cheers. Oh, you cheers.
Oh, first of all, I'm a little different today. I ain't got no glass. I'm a little ratchet with the Crown Royal whiskey lemonade. It's light though, only 7%, but that's how we rocking today. So cheers.
And I'm drinking Pinot Noir, so cheers. What are we cheersing to?
Cheersing to more life, more love, more everything.
I cheers to that. Cheers. No, we gotta do what Auntie Paula said. You gotta look at me. Cheers. Like we mentioned earlier, this topic isn't necessarily one that's talked about too often in the dating phase of a relationship. Today we're talking about finances. So I did some YouTube stories a couple weeks back from the time that this video is being recorded about how we manage our finances together, and it seemingly got a lot of traffic. People were really asking questions about how we manage our finances and what that looks like for us. I want to give a disclaimer. This works for us.
Correct.
This works for us.
We are not by any means any financial advisors or anything like that. This works for us. This is our
method.
Yes,
this is what works for us. However, we do have a financial advisor, and she's pretty unbiased, I feel like. However, shout out to Robin. We'll put Robin's information in the description box. She's a great financial counselor. Hit her up. However, like I mentioned, this method and everything that we're talking about during this video works for us. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Don't discredit it or don't demean it because it doesn't work for you.
Correct. Yes.
But it works for us, and we're doing quite well. Definitely areas of improvement. Can be some areas of improvement always. So let's just jump right into it. So Rashad, I'll let you answer the first question. We have a list of questions.
Yeah, not too much.
We have some questions. How do we approach the topic of finances in your opinion?
So first and foremost, we approach it with a discussion, communicating with one another, and sometimes it could definitely cause anxiety. I'm speaking for you though.
Okay.
I'm definitely speaking for you.
I give you permission to speak for me at that point, because he not lying. Lying.
So, yes, we definitely attack it with a conversation. Actually, Queasha actually put me on. Everybody knows a form of budgeting and knows how to, I guess, move money around. I wouldn't necessarily say manage, because a lot of people are not good at managing money, but there's different types of budgeting for different types of people. But I was one of those type of people that wasn't like, Excel spreadsheet type of thing. I'm just saying I'll probably write down some stuff on a piece of paper, put it in a little folder or whatever. But when I met Queasha, she had like a whole Excel spreadsheet. She got budgeting from 2016. Like her numbers still.
I do.
Like what? Like what? Anyways, long story short, I'm saying all that to say, like, with her having that form of budgeting, she introduced it to me, and I'm not gonna lie, it was pressure. I hated it because it was something new, but we have been continuously, working through it week in, week out, month in, month out, and it's starting to become second nature.
So let me chime in and back you up a little bit. So initially, we decided to get started with managing our finances together. So Rashad and I have been together. It'll be 3 years this year.
Yeah.
So for 2 years, we've been managing our finances separately, and it works for us. But we start talking about long-term goals, life goals, and clearly we play into each other's life goals and long-term goals. So we thought it was efficient and time enough for us to start managing money together. Now, let me also preface everything I'm saying by saying my sweetheart did not like me whipping out that spreadsheet. I want to go I want to go so far as to say you lowest of keys saw it as some form of control.
For sure.
And like, it was not that. It was not meant to be that.
And I totally understand now, but I had to take a step back and realize like this is definitely for the greater good. And I had to just get out of that habit. I had to break those bad habits. But I definitely was like, yo, get up off of me and my money.
But I had to always let him know. I'll, clue you all into, I guess our top 2 goals that I guess play into us deciding to manage our money together. We're trying to get married or at least get engaged soon.
You notice I ain't look at the camera only because she only knows obviously she knows.
Of course I know.
She knows, but she's saying soon as if she knows the time period.
I don't know anything like that. I don't. But nevertheless, that's a goal of ours, and we have set a goal to purchase a home together before the end of this year. So, of course, if we're trying to buy a home together, we have to put our finances together. So those were the 2 main deciding factors as to why we decided to start budgeting together. But like I said, Rashad initially saw it as some form of control. I was not the person prior to us doing our budget. You can't lie and say I was always the person to be like, I'm not trying to count your pockets, y'all. I don't tell me nothing about your money. I don't want to know. And he would always try to, in his words, clue you into my game room. Yeah. That's what he would say. But I would be like, no, child, I don't need to know. I don't need to know. But now, everything is on the table. I need to know. And so now that I need to know, I got eyes on everything and I'm asking questions now. And I think that the first month we started budgeting together in January of this year. Whew.
Right.
January was tough. February was tough. March was better.
Yeah.
It's only April.
Fact. It's only April.
But it's gotten better.
I was going to say, for the most part, it's definitely gotten better.
It's gotten better. It's definitely gotten better. So, in terms of us, like how we approach finances, definitely a conversation. And approaching each other in the most humble way. Yeah. Because it can be a touchy topic if you're not careful. And you just don't want to rub the other person the wrong way when it comes to their money. Do we have regular discussions about money in our financial goals? All the time. I'm bringing up the house at least once a week. At least once a week. I'm bringing up, us sticking to the budget at least once a week. And Rashad is caught on now to where he asks me questions like, does that fit in the budget? I'll be like, all right, I'm finna go. We can hang out with such and such. Okay, that's cool, but can that fit in the budget? I guess, child. Or if it don't, it don't.
And we figure it out, you know what I'm saying? And when I mean figure it out is more or less of like us coming to the conclusion that we can't do it. Because, we got to stick by the budget.
Yeah. What have we done to achieve or work to achieve some of our goals? Well, number one, we actually create the budget. That's the first step, because a lot of people don't budget. That's the first step. We budget. We actually do a budget, and we do our darndest to stick to the budget. But then, like I talked about earlier, we also set those different goals that we have. We have goals written on the refrigerator. And every time we meet a goal, it's like an accomplished thing, so we scratch it off. So I think also too, taking baby steps or doing things piece by piece versus this overarching, this big audacious goal. Breaking down those big audacious goals and saying, okay, how can we get here? So for example, we have a goal to, I guess you're gonna use a random number, save $20,000 before the end of this year. Okay, so what does that look like? And this is me asking Rashad these questions. How do we reach $20,000 this year? I'll probably come up with a solution like, okay, if there are 12 months in a year, 12 divided by 20, that gives
No, but I see where you're going. But that's actually fact. That's exactly how it would go. Obviously, I'll be taking out my calculator and be like, all right, we'll be jotting down.
And that's how much we would break it down that we need to save each month to reach that $20,000 goal by the end of the year.
Right. Now, I just want to piggyback off because I don't know what that number is, because that number might not be manageable.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely, kind of mold that number into something that we can manage. That way we can get to that $20,000 goal.
Like a prime example of us doing that is we were super late with us paying for a vacation that we're going on this summer. We knew about the vacation since last summer, but we started paying for the vacation super late. So, like after Christmas, because we was trying to get birthdays out the way, holidays out there. We was trying to get everything out the way that we had to pay for. So we started paying for the vacation super late, and we had a deadline of something in March to have the vacation paid for in totality in full by March something. We didn't start planning for or planning to budget for it until January. So we sat down and said, this is how much we need to pay on this vacation each month to have it paid off in full. This is how much you need to pay. This is according to how much you get paid. This is how much I need to pay according to how much I get paid. And these numbers, we cannot deviate from these numbers. Otherwise, we're not going on this vacation. Yeah. So
it was just that simple.
Yeah. And guess what? We made it happen. The vacation's paid off in full. So we're going on this vacation this summer. Right. Okay. So, but that is one method of how we reach our goals. Obviously, we have other ways, but that's one really good one, is breaking down the big goals into super small goals. How do we handle shared expenses and financial responsibilities like our rent and the light bill and like the insurance and the Hulus? And how do you want to speak to how we do that?
Probably let you answer that.
Okay, so we have some shared expenses in our budget. I broke it down to where it's like pretty much 3 sections. My expenses that I'm responsible for paying for, joint expenses that we both can, contribute to, and then his expenses that he's responsible for covering. That way, we don't necessarily have to have all of our expenses combined. Like, you're still responsible for the stuff you need to pay for. I'm still responsible for my stuff, and there are some things that we jointly pay for. So for instance, rent, we both contribute to rent. That is a joint bill. The electric bill, that is a joint bill. Now we have car insurance together, so clearly that's a joint bill. We're on separate phone bills, so your phone bill is your phone bill, my phone bill is my phone bill, especially considering I have 2 phones. So my bill might be a little bit more than his. And so it wouldn't be fair for me to be like, okay, I'm expecting you to go half with me on, put you on my plan, and I'm expecting you to go half with me when I'm using up majority of the bill. To me, that's not fair. So we keep our cell phone bills separate. And then we have a host of other bills that we pay for, individually also. But we do have a joint account. Our joint account is primarily for saving only. It's a savings account. We don't touch it. We don't have a joint checking. We have separate checking accounts, and we both have multiple checking accounts outside of each other. But the only account we have together is a joint account, and that is to save for our house. That account is only to throw money in to save for our house. In our budget, we allocate how much we both will spend each month to throw into our joint savings account so that we can reach our goal. Because we got to buy a house and pay for this down payment.
Budget, boy. That budget real.
Everything goes back to the budget.
I ain't gonna lie, the budget really displays a form of discipline.
What? Initially, like I mentioned earlier, this is a new habit for Rashad. It was a brand. Like he said, I've been budgeting since 2016, so I pretty much know what I'm doing with it. It was a brand new habit for Rashad in this way. Like he mentioned earlier, you budget your own way. Probably jot something down, throw it in the folder, and keep it moving. But this way, how we budget now is a little bit more stricter.
Yeah,
it's a little bit more stricter. And I remember in the beginning, he would be like, well, can we just like not put some money in the budget so that we have some wiggle room to like just play with that money? And I'm like, that's not the point of a budget.
right.
The budget is to tell every single dollar where to go.
Oh, exactly.
Every single dollar.
I remember you kept on emphasizing that. No, we need to make sure we know where every single dollar needs to go. And I was like,
he would be like, but what if I want to go do this randomly? It wasn't in the budget, so you can't.
It's over for that. I mean, it's not over because we're a team, but can you imagine, like?
But think of this. He's cluing y'all in to how these conversations really happen for us.
Exactly.
We would get into it over this thing right here.
And I'm really I'm really like, nah, like I need some wiggle room.
And I would tell him, well, I don't get wiggle room, so no, you don't get wiggle room either. But he's come along. And by the grace of God, because I was praying. And it's important.
Shoot, I was praying too.
No, you should have been. Because this is also the number one reason why most marriages end in divorce. Finances.
Facts. So now I do exactly. So with your point, what you saying that, like, I feel confident that we could, have these type of discussions and implement these habits now before we are married, so that way when we get married, it ain't no wake up call or a rude awakening. We we were the program, we know what's good.
And having your finance book open to another person, that involves you being super vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Like a whole nother level of vulnerability with your person, because now they see the stuff that they probably haven't told you about. A prime example, I didn't know my sweetheart spent so much money on certain things that he likes to do. And I was like, hold on. When I didn't been with this man, 2 years and some change now. Never ask, because it's not my business. Like, that's your money, you do what you want to do. But now that we done merged money, I'm like, whoa, hold on. I need a receipt.
I want to do that. And it's crazy. That opened my eyes up too. Like, dang, I don't think I'm spending money.
And you never know until you sit down and look at the numbers at the end of the month. You just never really know. But again, that just comes with being vulnerable.
I budget for that too.
We put it in the budget, and that's another thing to speak to. When you are in the position, when you are being this vulnerable with another person, you are now open and privy to their lifestyle on a whole nother level. But just because you're privy to it, that doesn't necessarily mean that they should stop. Just because you know all the ins and outs now, that don't mean they should stop. Just because you know everything. A prime example, he likes to do some things, and in his own free time and recreational time, that I probably don't like it, because I know how much money's being spent on it. But just because I don't like it doesn't necessarily mean he should stop. What it means is you need to now accommodate what you like to do to fit the budget. That's all. But that don't mean you should stop completely whatever it is you like doing. Another example is, I like to buy wine. I could go to Trader Joe's and spend $200 on wine and be good for the next 2 months. But I haven't done that, and I don't know how long, because that don't fit the budget. I just buy like 2 bottles at a time now, instead of like 20. But it's okay. Mind your business. Okay, how do we handle differences in income?
First of all, thank God for both of us bringing in some income.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, 2 is always better than 1.
Mm-hmm. But I'm waiting on him to retire.
Soon come.
Mm-hmm.
Everything goes back to the budget. Like,
so Rashad, how do we handle our debts? Student loans, car payments, credit card debt.
Since we're not married yet, those are the type of things that, you know, one person has to take care of individually. So for example, we both went to school. She went to school, she had school loans, I got school loans, but we not combining those yet. Just as yet. So it's kind of like, you know, we're attacking that on our own. As far as credit cards, we don't have a credit card together, although that is the next step.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean,
oh.
But yeah, credit card, we don't have any credit cards together, but we do have credit cards individually. She pays her credit card, you know. We do have open discussions about it, like, you know, because that's something that the money has to go to, although that is her money and her bill. When we're doing the budget, it's something that just is a topic of a discussion, you know. It's something that we talk about.
Absolutely. Give me 2 things you've learned in the last 4 months of you budgeting with me.
With you, 2 things. Patience.
That's a good one.
Patience, definitely, I've learned, and being more open to learn about the budget. Not just the budget, but just so I'm gonna be a little open and get a little deep real quick. The budget for me is more than just the budget. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we talking about finances, but it gets a little bit more in depth because that's a time for us to connect. That's a time where both of us are, you know, a little bit vulnerable. And I feel like when the pot starts getting a little, you know, warm, or the water starts boiling a little bit, it makes our bond and our relationship a little bit more stronger because we're trying to figure out the next step, or figure out how to continually to be successful, or continually not to fall short, or not disappoint one another, or hold each other accountable, all those different things. So it's stuff like that I kind of like appreciate, although it's still annoying. It's definitely still annoying, but I could sit back and be like, nah, we need this. It's making me a better person. It's making us, you know, a better person, and, you know, just being more responsible.
So if I had to pick 2 things, one, I would say breathe.
Huh?
And I'm only saying that for me. I'm saying it for me.
Say that again.
Breathe. I have very bad anxiety when it comes to numbers, period. I'm not a numbers person. Never have been. Y'all saw this early in the video when I did 12 divided by 20 or whatever that was. That was real. That was real. I can't do that type of stuff, man. I'm an English person, okay? But my anxiety gets so bad whenever it's time for us to talk about money or talk about our budget. And ironic enough, or oxymoronic enough, I'm always the person to initiate the conversation. Knowing doggone well I hate it. I hate talking about money. Not just because it makes me uncomfortable, but because I just get bad anxiety talking about numbers, period. So, to breathe. And then I think the second thing I would say I've learned, the second thing I've learned, probably to appreciate, like, just go into it with the open mind. Because that the other person, or how our situation was, just because you got it down pat, you have to give this other person grace to get it just as down packed as you. Because it wasn't an overnight thing for me. And I would find myself getting so frustrated with Rashad. Like, why aren't you adhering to the budget? You being disobedient in a sense. Like, you just going against the grain. Like, I really thought like he was just intentionally doing all of this stuff. Like, I would get so mad to where I'm like in tears because I'm so mad now. But it's not that. It's a learning curve. It's just a learning curve. This was his first time doing it, or his first season doing it. So you have to give each other grace, especially when it comes to money, and especially when it comes to the number one reason why people are being divorced. Like, it's a serious topic. If more than 50% of couples that get married end up in divorce over stuff like this, it's serious. It's serious. So just be gracious to each other and be nice. Be nice during the process, because
be nice to me.
That said, we hope you all enjoyed this video, enjoyed this vulnerable topic with us. We don't usually let a lot of folks in our game room. In our game room, but with stuff like this because it is personal. Again, if it don't apply, let it fly. This is what works for us. This is what is good for us. It might not be good for everybody. There might be some people saying y'all not married, y'all shouldn't be doing finances together. This is what's working for us, and guess what? It's working. It's working for us though. If y'all have any questions, meet us in the comments. Make sure y'all like, comment,
and subscribe.
You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all of those other platforms at funsize_que. That's funsize__QUE. And you can follow Rashad at
get_ghost.
We go through this every video.
No, seriously, this is embarrassing.
It's gonna be on the little tab under here, y'all. Make sure y'all connect with us. And until next time, peace.